Hello, 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 and welcome. Okay, I am Indigo Sage, and I am feeling better. All right, so let's get started. This is the review and recap of Real Housewives of New Jersey, episode 8. Jennifer meets up with Margaret. She initiates this meeting, and Jennifer, and it just lets me know, like, I can clearly see that bringing up Bill's affair has completely broken down Jennifer's senses. For lack of better words, I'm going to say her senses, because she lost all of her common sense when she began to bring up Teresa. Okay? Why would you do that? Why would you do that, girl? Stick to the script. Anyway, let me back up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now, Jennifer talks to Margaret and tells her that she's hurt. Margaret says that she doesn't want to hurt her and that was not her intentions. Lies, you tell. Lies, you tell, Margaret. Margaret, you tell lies. Anyway, then somehow or another, Teresa's brought up because, Margaret brings up Jennifer calling on Evan, and that's how Teresa ends up being thrown up in the mix. Okay? And Margaret has the opportunity, she sees it, and she takes that opportunity to say, "Were you calling for Teresa?" Jennifer says, "No." Okay? She says, "I take absolute responsibility for everything that I did." And for me, that was very clear. But as we know, Margaret is going to be Margaret, and Margaret is the definition of a snake in the grass. Okay? When she hugged Jennifer, okay, she went in for a hug, and Jennifer apparently, now watching it, I didn't see they edited out the very beginning of what Jennifer was talking about, but then lucky for us, later we hear Margaret say she filled in the gaps. But all we see is Jennifer saying, "Will you help me?" And Margaret says, "Yes, I will help you." And they're both wiping tears away from their eyes and they go in for a hug. Okay, cute, cute, cool, cool, whatever, right? Here's the thing, I was like, help you with what, girl? Help you with what? Don't ask, you know what I was thinking? Honest to goodness, I was like, don't ask the devil for help, girl. Where they do that at? And I didn't know. I was like, help with what? Later on in the show, Margaret says that Jennifer asked her to help her make friends. Okay. So then they go in for a hug. The only thing I was thinking at that time when they went in for that hug, baby, was Margaret is trying to see on your back a spot to stick the knife in. Okay. To stick the knife in. Get into it. Cut to Dolores shopping for items that her mom needs. I think clothing that her mom needs, or maybe she's shopping for herself. I know that she's talking about her mom being in the hospital with Frank. I know she's shopping. She's in the store shopping. I know she tells Frank, "I'm single now, and ever since I've had my surgery, I haven't worn a full top." Okay, get into it. Come on, Dolores. Come on, Dolores, with your crop tops. Okay, like it was the 90s. So anyway, then she mentions David and how, he's still ignoring her. She was at the hospital and he just looked at her and straight pivoted. Okay, did a 90 angle pivot and went and talked to her family, which first thing I was thinking was, why weren't you standing over with your family? That didn't make no sense. I don't know if anybody else caught that. Did y'all catch that? Let me know down in the comments. She said he looked at her and then turned and went and talked to her family. Why weren't you talking to the family? And it could be a whole bunch of reasons why, but I just wonder. I do. And I don't give a damn all that pivoting. You can pivot yourself in a 360 circle, baby. I'm going to go find out what is going on with my mama. And if you got some information about what's going on with my mama, you will be talking to me, whether you like it or not. And that's just me. I'm an alpha. And that's just the way it goes. And it's like that. And that's the way it goes. Okay. And I know David is hurt. You know, there's been lots of people hurt in this ain't funny. But in the trails of my breakups, there's been lots of hurtness, okay? But life does go on and priorities have to be put in place. And if we're talking about my mother's health, well, dude, you're going to have to put your feelings off to the side or move on off to the side completely, okay? Anyway, moving right along because I'm going to talk more about that later cuz there's something else later. But Frank has the nerve to sit up here and say to Dolores that he don't want her sleeping around, which in the confessional he says, which of course, yes, the men got confessionals. But in the confessional he says, oh, I was just kidding, but let me tell you something. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Okay, drop down in them comments and let me know if y'all think he was playing or not. Tracy texts all the ladies to invite them on a team building exercise. It is a high ropes course that Tiki told her about that the football players used to do in order to team build. It builds trust and helps with communication. All right, newbie Trace. This sounds like some newbie shit. It really does, doesn't it? This is some newbie shit. You could tell somebody new by their activity. Okay, girl. And you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with having high hopes, but you a newbie, straight up. This ain't the way to work it out with these ladies, putting them on ropes and stuff, just like Teresa said. Okay, spoiler alert. Teresa said, "I'm gonna guide you right on down to fall. I'm gonna guide you right on off that course to fall." See, if she wasn't a newbie, she'd know that. Okay. I'm not on the show and I know that. Girl, somebody could get hurt for real, okay? Anyway, then we just see a shot of Teresa giving each of them one of her products. Jackie, cut to Jackie and Evan. Jackie goes over the recommendations with Evan for her treatment. They recommended inpatient or 3 nights per week or therapy. Jackie has an excuse for nearly everything, and I almost feel like so she settles on therapy, and clearly we can see that Evan is bothered by that. He wants her to get help in order to help them in their relationship. So while they're going around talking about everybody's relationship but theirs, and I know they're giving them a break since last season it focused on theirs, but I see trouble in the waters. Okay, I don't know if that's how that saying goes, but it's trouble. I see trouble ahead for their relationship. Okay, it's written all over Evan's face, period. All right. Now, she settles on therapy, but I have a sneaking suspicion that she'll go to 1 or 2 and then stop. Because she's just fighting it way too much, and that's just clearly signs of someone who does not want to get help. It's like she wants to, but she's fighting it. Anyway, moving right along. Melissa talks to Joey about their daughter not wanting to cheer anymore, and they discuss whether or not to push her. And there's so many elements on whether or not to push her. But here's the thing, I can talk from only my experience. I don't know what grade she's in, but what I would say is we'll let you take a break this year. But next year, I'll talk to the coach and let them know what your limitations are. Or if she does, because it sounds like Melissa's saying she doesn't have any limitations, which is great. But I would tell her, I'll let you have this year off to recoup or whatever. And then next year you're going to get back in it. That's what we're going to do. And it'll be, you can go as slow as you need to, but you'll get back in it. And that's what I would do. Unless she picks up a different hobby that I see that she's just as interested in, and it's the light of her life or whatever. But I wouldn't allow her to just sit around and sulk. That's what I wouldn't do. So we would work something out. Okay, get into it. We would work something out, man. Kids are important and not to be ignored by any means, whether you on TV or not. Melissa and Joey. And let me add, Melissa and Joey, this is a storyline that I'm not going to give them too much shit for, okay? Because they need a storyline. And usually I'm not for people like Lisa Rinna, you know, she uses her kids every damn year because she ain't got nothing going on. She don't want to talk about Harry having a boyfriend or whatever and whatnot, allegedly, okay? But I'm gonna give them a pass on this one. Cut to Jennifer talking to Bill. And she tells Bill about the meeting with Margaret, and Bill doesn't seem to trust Margaret, and I don't either. Okay, I'm with you, Bill. We see each other. All right, honey. Bill, you gonna have to take that knife right on up out of your wife's back before the end of the season. You the one gonna have to do it, and he knows it. He knows that, which is why he giving her a mean side eye. He is giving her a mean side eye as she, you know, is talking. But anyway, Jennifer goes into saying that, you know, she didn't deal with his affair in the past. And although it's 10 years later, which in current time is 11 years later, but she says now she wants to deal with it. And Bill just goes ahead and asks, because she's throwing in the affair and then she's throwing up how he didn't stick up for her, and so she's throwing a lot of things at him right now. And so one of the things he says, he asks if she has doubts that he sticks up for her, and she admits that she does. And I'm so glad that we finally get to see on our TV that she's telling him that, because it was wearing very thin on my nerves. Okay, constantly seeing her crying and saying how she feels, but appearing to not tell the person who's making you feel that way, which is Bill. You got to tell Bill. You can't ever fault someone for not doing what it is that you want them to do if you don't tell them what it is that you want them to do. That's like showing up to work one day, you know, your first day of work, and ain't nobody telling you shit, and they just sit you down in front of a computer and just expect for you to get the work done. Well, shit, bitch, what work? What work? What am I doing? Somebody tell me something. So that's frustrating. Anyway, so I'm glad to see that she finally told Bill, look, this is exactly how I feel. Okay. And so then she ends up saying, now what? And his response is, you tell me now what? Cut to Jackie goes to visit Margaret. And I am happy that we finally see it aired that Margaret does show concern about Jackie's eating disorder. And actually, I said Jackie goes to visit Margaret. No, Margaret goes to visit Jackie. So that's my bad. Anyway, and she expresses, you know, concern, and she's cut off. She is cut off. So, and she looked like she got on a bathing suit. Now, are they going swimming? Anyway, they should have showed that, because that don't make no sense to, and I'm talking about Margaret. Margaret got on a bright yellow bathing suit. And even though they're sitting by the pool, I hope Margaret, they should have showed her as they cut away. At the end of the scene, they should have showed her splashing in the pool or something, so that we know she don't just walk around and she walking around in a bathing suit. But you know what? She doesn't have makeup on, so she probably does plan to get in the pool. Anyway, sorry about that, y'all. You know, let me just, that was a side note. But Jackie begins to, you know, talk to her about the recommendations, and it's nice to see Margaret aware, and, you know, and then in the confessional she says, well, I've seen it and I've wanted to say things, but anytime I've said things, she bites my head off or something like that, she says. And here's the thing, Bravo does play a clip, but that's a clip from one of the previous seasons, which Margaret didn't bring it up. Jennifer and Margaret were going at it, and Jennifer spitefully, to spite Margaret, said, oh, Jackie, while you're defending her and you think she's your friend, she's talking about you behind your back, saying that you don't eat. That's how that came up. That's how that came up. So that clip that Bravo showed did not go with what Margaret said. Okay. Anyway, now whether or not she had real moments where it happened, where she bit her head off, where there was one-on-one, no cameras, we'll never know, because all she said is, when I bring it up, she bites my head off, and then they go to that. So, and Margaret has, I've noticed she's been quoting, see, she's done her homework, which is fine. But she's been quoting things exactly as they played out on television in previous seasons, which makes me feel like she's not genuine when she says things. Because, see, I watched her own, I've listened to her interviews other places, and that's all I'm going to say, okay? But she's very calculated, all right, which is what I believe that they talk about later too, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But Margaret's very calculated, and that's all to it. Well, to me, Margaret, that's part of the reason why Margaret seems disingenuous. Okay, she's never. I don't see anything real or authentic about her, and I that makes me not like her now. Okay, I need some authenticity when she speaks and acts. Okay. Anyway, cut to Teresa and Jennifer visit Dolores, where Dolores talks about David. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay. The mom, she's still in the hospital in the ICU and all this kind of stuff. And but that's in the show. But in today's time, she's actually out. The surgery went fine. She recovered fine, and she's fine. Dolores played her on her Instagram, which I showed you guys that in the one of the previous reviews. Anyway, so her mom is fine. But in the hospital, when they talked about her aftercare and who was she going to stay with, baby, David sat up there and put up his hand and volunteered. And yet he's still not talking to Dolores. He got a lot of nerve. He got a lot of nerve. He got a lot of nerve. He got more nerve than I knew that humans could have nerve. You want my mama and you wants to not talk to me? If you don't get your ass out of here, get your ass out of here. He better go somewhere. And I know he hurt. He is hurt. He is hurt. And he is going to have to work that out. Speaking of working it out, being hurt and all that kind of stuff, Dolores did say that she thought about being prescribed some anxiety pills or whatever because of how she's feeling right now about their breakup. But she said, you know what? I told myself I need to feel it. I want to feel it, which is good. Okay, that's good. You do have to feel it. You got to feel it, because she also makes the point of that will help her grow, which is true, which I thought was excellent. Then they go on to talk about, because Jennifer brings up that, Margaret had said, cut to Margaret telling Jackie that Jennifer and Bill may not work it out, and she implies that they may get a divorce. She tells Jackie that Teresa is the one that had Jennifer calling everywhere. Oh boy. And then she tells Jackie that Jennifer asked for help with friends. So that ties back into the very beginning when I told you guys that they just show her asking for help from Margaret, and Margaret saying, I will help you, and they didn't tell us what she was asking for help with. Well, in this scene, Margaret tells Jackie that Jennifer asked her for help with friends, quote unquote. Okay, interesting. Cut to Jennifer telling Teresa about Margaret bringing up the guys' night and saying how Tiki said that my wife wants to know, which of course Teresa gets very upset, as she should, because that is one of the most craziest things that I've heard out of a Real Housewives husband's mouth when speaking to another husband. You are questioning him and saying because my wife wants to know? That's another newbie mistake. That's another newbie mistake. Let me tell y'all something. Tiki and Tracy, y'all best get it together if you want to stay around here. Okay? Get it together, because y'all rubbing me in the wrong way. I do feel like they need to be active and they need to talk and they need to speak. I do feel like that. I still stand by that. I said that in the very beginning and I still stand by it, but they need to be careful where they step in, because they on thin ice. Nobody told y'all to step out on thin ice. Okay. Cut to Tracy's roping, communication, trusting event that, for me, is a big failure. So Tracy's there, and Margaret arrives and tells Tracy basically like this. I met with Jennifer and Bill gonna get a divorce. Melissa arrives. Margaret tells Melissa, I met with Jennifer and Bill gonna get a divorce. Jackie arrives. Margaret says to all of them, I told Jackie that I met with Jennifer and Bill gonna get a divorce. Her marriage is hanging on by a thread. She just goes on and on and on about they're gonna get a divorce. Woo! And then Dolores arrives and she says, ooh, Dolores, you was right. She she is just a mess, and they gonna get a divorce. So it's just constant repeating to each and every person that shows up. And here's the thing, Bravo know what they doing. Bravo editors, y'all know what y'all doing. You know, just like last review, I told you guys about how they all have call times. Well, Margaret is always the first one to arrive. Okay? And it is so she can talk about Jennifer. That's all she does. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm putting out a challenge to you listeners right now, listening to the sound of my voice. If you guys can cite us a time where Margaret did not, Margaret did not arrive before Jennifer, because they always got her arriving before Jennifer, and did not talk shit about Jennifer. Just give me one. Just give me 30 seconds of Margaret arriving early and talking about something else besides Jennifer before Jennifer arrives. Okay? That's a challenge, because I bet you can't. I bet you can't. I bet you cannot list a time where all the women got together, Margaret arrived first, and she talked about everything except Jennifer. She always talks about Jennifer, period. And I'm sick of that being a part of her storyline. I want her to let it go, like that movie Frozen. So once all those ladies are there, then she goes ahead and announces them, because she was just waiting for Dolores to come. That's their little old crew. Okay. And then she says, and Teresa, you know, Jennifer made me believe that Teresa is the one that had her digging, you know, girl, Margaret, it just, hey, Dolores says not to believe Jennifer, and then Dolores announces to them that Teresa is coming in hot for Margaret and Tracy, to which Margaret is like, I don't give a damn, I don't give a shit, I don't give a shit. Now Tracy is shook. Okay, Tracy shook, because then she ran around everybody talking about, why can't I just ask a question? Why can't I ask a question? Can't I ask a question? Why she coming in hot for me? Why? Girl, why you shook, girl? You better, whether you believe it or not, you better take on Margaret and just be like, I don't give a shit. You know, when Margaret said she didn't give a shit, you should have said, not on evil, I don't give a shit. And tried to pump yourself up or something, because when Teresa come in, she said, I want to throw you right on off. Yeah, I'll guide you right on off. And she's like, oh my God, why? Can I ask a question? Then they cut to confessional, where her dingy butt sit up here and say, I am not in charge of my husband. Why did you tell him to go ask Louis this, that, and the other? The least she could have done was laughed it off and be like, you know what? I did say that. We was talking, because we be talking. But he wasn't supposed to go and say that. He wasn't supposed to go and say that. I wanted to know. He was supposed to just bring it up casually. And then kiki and laugh it off until the producer's next question. But be honest. You sitting up here, you throwing your own husband under the bus? That don't even make no sense. Girl, he gonna be the only one you got by the time the season is over. Girl, what's wrong with you? So Teresa arrives bearing gifts and lets them know that it's from her workout line, and which I think that's great. Teresa arrives and she does come in hot, because first thing she says, she makes it very clear that she does not want to be there. And I could clearly see, we can see as viewers, she only came to talk shit, to let them know that she's pissed. That's it. She didn't come to participate at all. That's very clear, okay? And she even says that, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and guide y'all. I'm going to guide y'all to fall. I got two people who I am upset with, and I will guide y'all right off the platform to fall. She comes in saying that. That's not nice, but that's Teresa. And so Tracy paired Teresa up for her to guide her off the platform, fall and break her neck. Thank God she did not, because Teresa, and this is something that I was happy that, this is one thing, I don't care what nobody say about Teresa. This is one thing I respect about her. You're going to know how she feels. She's going to tell you how she feels. I do respect her not holding in her resentment and distaste and disdain and contempt for two of the members of her cast, which is Margaret and Tracy. It's Tracy, Margaret, and Jennifer up there. And Margaret again is telling Jennifer, just admit it, just say it, you know, which of course this is some sneaky bullying. She wants Jennifer to say that Teresa made her call. Jennifer will not say that. Okay? She won't say it. What do you guys believe? Do you believe Teresa made, because I know Margaret earlier told Jackie that I called so and so and asked exactly what did Jennifer tell her, and she said that Jennifer told her that Teresa wants to know, or Teresa wants me to ask. I don't even know if I believe that to be true. All of this telephone game is exactly that, a telephone game. Words and everything can be mixed up so quickly and so easily to where it's hard for me to believe 100% that Teresa said, call this lady, and then Jennifer did it. I'm kind of 50-50. I do believe that that could have happened because we do cut to Teresa saying, Jennifer knows those people. I don't. So I can see her, but I don't know. That's 50-50. But the point is that, okay, we're here now. Stop trying to make Jennifer say something, whether it's true or not. Stop being a bully and trying to make her say something that she's not comfortable with saying. Stop it. And all she's trying to do, Margaret, is simply trying to cause Teresa and Jennifer not to be friends. Period. And that's why she's pushing her to say it, say it, say it. Leave her alone. Because we don't know if it's true or not. But even if it is, she doesn't want to say it. So leave her the hell alone, Margaret. And I really wish that Jennifer would say, girl, get out, knock it off, stop it, okay? You asked me a question and I answered it. And I'm not changing it. Now, what else is happening? Okay? I'm channeling Cynthia from Roa. What else is happening? Margaret and Teresa end up going at it, and they both tell each other that they look like shit. And there's a distance between them, and we see Teresa closing in that distance. Okay, Teresa is a marching, stomping right on over there in an aggressive manner. And guess what? Guess what Bravo do? To be what? Continue. To be continued. Okay, so we will be back next week, same time, same place. All right. So we have come to the conclusion of this recap and review. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support. It means everything to me. Have a blessed and wonderful week. Be sure to be safe and wash your hands. Bye.